Welcome guys! In this video I will talk about my updated farming strategies for harvest. This content is still extremely profitable, but you really need to understand the game mechanics to maximize your loot. If you saw my previous video about harvest, you may skip the next chapter and go directly to the third one where I speak about the new farming strategies. As always, you can find all the information of this video inside my big Google spreadsheet, the Magic Find Academy Strategy Guide, link in the description below. Although it might seem a pretty simple mechanic, there are some little known facts about harvest that you should be aware of. The life force you get depends on two factors: monster pack size and quantity of items found off the map. So let's focus on this. Whenever you interact with harvest crops, monsters are spawned from the seeds. Now T1 monsters drop nothing, T2 monsters drop very little life force, T3 monsters are instead your main money makers, and T4 are harvest bosses, unique monsters that drop a high amount of life force but are very rare. Now, a single T3 seed normally spawns one rare monster, which drops a single stack of life force. However, at 90% monster pack size, you almost always spawn at least two rare monsters. At the same time, the stack number for life force is increased by the item quantity of the map you're running. For example, here is the stack size of life force that you can get from a normal map with zero quantity, and this stack size in a 300% quantity map. So the most impactful way to increase both monster pack size and item quantity is to roll well your maps. Each map modifier has specific inherent values of quantity, rarity and pack size, and these bonus values are generally much higher for tier 17 maps if your build can handle them. Ether Overall Influence can also provide increased item quantity, which is doubled thanks to the Keystone Eldritch Gates. Now that you mastered the basics, I can finally talk about the farming strategy, the very reason you clicked this video. The best farming strategy for harvest is crop rotation, which substantially changes the harvest mechanic. All the seeds in the Sacred Grove are tier 1, not tier 2, not tier 3. You have to do some gardening, some serious gardening to grow those seeds, and that's really fitting in the overall thematic of harvest in my opinion. So whenever you harvest seeds of a certain color, what happens is that other seeds of different colors will have a chance to upgrade to the next tier. So for example, now that we killed monsters inside the purple seeds, we got an upgrade for yellow seeds. So if we now harvest these crops, what happens is that other seeds, other T2 seeds, have a chance to upgrade to tier 3. Now we have 4 T3 seeds, which is something we could never see with a traditional harvest. And this can get really wild. Here we have 12 T3 monsters inside a single crop, and while fighting so many rare monsters may be dangerous, the loot explosion is just so satisfying. So let's find out together how can we play this mechanic to have the best possible profit. First off, you want many harvest crops with opposite seed colors compared to the life force you want to get. Then your purpose is to activate last a single harvest crop with your desired life force color that grew a lot of T3 seeds. While you play crop rotation, you should allocate the passive notable Vivid Drought to reduce the number of yellow crops you get. With this setup, you will get about 1-2 yellow crops, and all the other crops will be either purple or blue. Of course, this changes based on the economy state. If yellow life force is not the most profitable, you might consider running either the purple or the blue nodes. Let's now talk about Scarabs. The centerpiece of the crop rotation harvest strategy is the Horned Scarab of Awakening. It is very expensive, but the effect is completely worth it. With this Scarab, you can select the imbued harvest modifier on the map device, which provides 50% chance for the unchosen crop to not wilt, which is absolutely fantastic for crop rotation. With the imbued mod, you can activate more crops, providing additional chance to upgrade other seeds in other crops, which means you will get a high number of T3 monsters. Also, harvested plants in area have 50% chance to spawn an additional monsters. In practice, this scarab can literally double your loot. The second obvious choice is harvest a Scarab of Doubling, which duplicates the life force you get. Then, if you're running T17 maps, the best choice in my opinion is to add 2 Cartography Scarabs of Risk, which add an additional random modifier to your maps. This is very useful because each modifier adds item quantity and pack size. If you run T16 maps instead, I personally recommend to replace one Scarab with the Cartography Scarab of Corruption. Differently from tier 17, you can sustain your favorite T16 map very easily and it will drop corrupted with 8 mods. The final Scarab is the Influencing Scarab of Hordes, which provides 40% increased pack size for all influenced monsters. The Atlas passive tree is very simple. You want to allocate all the passives for map modifier effect, including the notables, as well as the item quantity passives in the inner circle of the tree. The Eater of All passives are also very important. You want to allocate the Shadow of Anger notable, as well as all these small passives here for increased pack size of influence monsters and the Keystone Eldritch Gate. Finally, you certainly want to allocate all of the passive notables for Harvest except Call of the Grove. And with the remaining points, I personally recommend to invest in Scarab chance as well as map drop chance. Choosing a good map layout is extremely important for Harvest, because to optimize your item quantity bonus from the Eater Reward altars, you want to kill the boss as soon as possible, then clear the map, and then enter the Sacred Grove. You should avoid backtracking at all costs. My favorite choice for tier 17 maps is Fortress, because it's a round linear layout and the boss is also pretty easy. For T16 maps, I highly recommend Jungle Valley. It has a nice open layout which is very easy to navigate, and in addition, before you enter the arena, there is no boss in the map, and Eldritch Altars will have higher chance to give item quantity bonus. If you really don't like crop rotation, you can try an alternative farming strategy revolving around the Harvest Scarab of Cornucopia. With this Scarab, you will force T4 seeds containing unique harvest bosses to spawn in your Sacred Grove, one for each different plant color available. The issue is that if the unique T4 bosses are in 2 different crops of the same harvest, the opposite crop may wilt. On the bright side, you can sometimes get lucky and spawn 2 unique bosses instead of 1, thanks to the passive Notable Bountiful Harvest. Overall, this strategy is less profitable than crop rotation, but it's still pretty good if you want to farm the Sacred Blossom, which is the encounter for the final harvest boss, Oshabi. The boss is pretty easy and it has 100% chance to drop 1 Sacred Crystallized Life Force, which is usually very expensive on market. The Scarab setup is pretty similar to the crop rotation strategy, you just swap the Horned Scarab for the Harvest Scarab of Cornucopia. Finally, I want to remind you guys about the Einhar's memory of Sacred Grove. Sometimes people forget about this memory and the price is low enough that you can make a profit out of it. The memory contains the harvest mechanic, but with a twist. The crops are larger in size and they contain plants of all color types. In addition, all harvest seeds are at least tier 2, and tier 2 seeds have a 10% chance to be upgraded to tier 3, and in the same way, tier 3 seeds have 2% chance to upgrade to tier 4. Memory bonus increase as you play more maps, so in the second map you get 11% chance for tier 2 seeds to be upgraded to tier 3 and 2% chance for upgrading to tier 4, then 12 and 3%, and then finally 13 and 3%. In conclusion, Harvest is still a very profitable mechanic. I didn't keep track of my profits so far, but crop rotation seemed the most effective strategy. Anyway, I am having a lot of fun playing Harvest and I'm really glad to be back making videos. I want to give a special thank to all my supporters, both in the Magic Find Academy Discord and here on YouTube. I am planning to release more videos during this league, so if you like this one, please subscribe and leave a like.